the mirage of choice. We like to believe we are choosing where to go, what to say, who to become, but what if most of it was already chosen? Before you picked the jacket or the job, you were handed beliefs, given a culture, a name, a tempo to walk to, a lens to see through. The mirage isn't just in the grocery aisle, it's in the roles we play, the stories we're born into, the dreams that were given to us before we ever asked what they meant. Carl Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." So what if your fate was a choice you never made, a pre-written narrative sold to you as self, and all your decisions, just the next step, in someone else's idea of who you are? The mirage of choice is not that we have none, but that the script we follow was never really ours. We think we're acting from the inside out, but most of what we think was whispered first, not loudly, not with force, but in patterns, images, repetition. We absorb what we hear often, we follow what we've seen modeled, we obey what feels normal, not what is true. And it isn't evil, it isn't even obvious. It's subtle, like a parent's sigh, a teacher's praise, a face that looked disappointed when you didn't smile. What if your entire idea of what's right was just the result of a well-timed nod? You didn't decide what matters. You inherited it, then performed it. Over time, you forget it was given to you and begin to call it me. We are surrounded by options, so many doors to open, so many paths to take, but too many choices don't always mean freedom. They can become noise. And when everything is possible, we often default to the familiar. We pick the one that feels safe, not the one that feels true. Sometimes we confuse effort for alignment, endless comparison for discernment. But deep knowing doesn't scream. It doesn't compete. It waits beneath the chaos, like a quiet doorway behind a spinning room. Real choice lives in clarity, and clarity is rare when we're overwhelmed. We think what we believe is based on reason, but often it's just based on exposure. The familiar becomes the trusted, even when it's false, even when it's harmful. A story told enough times becomes a truth we stop questioning. A face seen often becomes likable. A belief repeated becomes obvious. This is how we confuse reality with repetition, and how truth gets buried under the rhythm of memory. As Neville Goddard said, "Assumption, if persisted in, will harden into fact." But again, whose assumptions are you living out? Your truth may still be buried under someone else's echo. You think you're choosing, but maybe you're just aligning to something you've already seen, already heard, already become. It feels personal, but perhaps it's just predictable. You lean into a pattern, not because it's you, but because it's comfortable. The mind doesn't always seek what is true. It seeks what is known, what is survived, what is practiced, so you repeat and call it preference. You reenact the familiar and call it authenticity. But what if you are simply the momentum of the past, projected forward with just enough variation to keep you convinced that this time it's your choice? Choice comes with responsibility, with friction, with weight, and sometimes we don't want that. So we lean into what's expected. We follow the path already lit. We listen for what will get approval, and it feels like safety, but it is silence. We begin to perform the version of ourselves that draws the least resistance, the least rejection, the least effort, until we forget what the original voice inside even sounded like. Comfort becomes the control, not because we're trapped, but because we're tired, and tired people make easy choices. We live by symbols. We always have. We wear them, we defend them, We attach to them a logo, a flag, a title, a label. We let them do the talking. Before we've done the listening, we think we are these symbols, but they are only costumes, temporary masks for something infinite underneath. Jung called it projection. The way we assign value to what reflects what we haven't claimed. We don't fall in love with brands. We fall in love with what they say about us. But we can live entire lives as mirrors, never realizing we've never touched the face behind the glass. To wake up is not to make a better choice. It's to remember that you can. To pause before the yes, to question the urge, to look for the breath. Between the impulse and the action, who am I being right now? Whose expectation am I obeying? This is how awareness works. Not loudly, but quietly, like a breeze entering a locked room. It doesn't fix everything, but it reminds you, you are still in here, still aware, still sovereign. Even if the world has handed you a script, you can still choose to read it with your own voice. Real freedom isn't found in volume. It's not found in having endless options, or in getting it all right. It's found in presence, in slowness, in the decision that doesn't need approval. It's found in the non-reaction, in the refusal to be pulled by momentum. Freedom isn't dramatic. It's humble, quiet, and deeply yours. It won't always make you feel certain, but it will make you feel real. And in that moment, you'll know. This wasn't just another choice. This was the first one. That felt like it came from you. If this reflection stirred something in you, feel free to like the video. Subscribe to our channel if you feel called to dive deeper, and tap that notification bell so you don't miss when the next quiet shift arrives. Until next time, stay open, stay light, stay moving. Words from others helps keep us moving forward. Change takes time. Small steps this week can open doors next month. We hope this introspective sparks new ideas and helps you cultivate insights for personal growth and improvement. Ever caught yourself so sure of something until you realize you were just seeing what you wanted to see? That moment when your brain feels like it's working against you? Last week you might have scanned headlines for proof of a belief, only to ignore every clue that disagreed. It sneaks in so subtly that you barely notice the steering wheel shifting in your hands. No grand reveal here, just 4 common ways your mind can steer you off track, and simple shifts you can try when it happens next. Think of the last time